Hello students, today we are with the chapter 9, the economic policy since 1991. In the last chapter we studied about the different planning and all that, and in this chapter we are going to study the economic policy since 1991. Before that, let me introduce you that during the period of 1991, India was facing, not only India, the all over the world was facing a very great economic crisis. In the beginning of the last decade of 20th century, Indian economic experienced an economic crisis. At the end of June 1991, foreign currencies assets declined to such an extent that it was barely enough to the finance 2 weeks of import. The annual rate of inflation reached 16.7% in August 1991. The government expenditure was greater than the revenue due to the defense expenditure, subsidies, interest on loan, etc. The positive effects of the scholastic pattern of the society was on the verge of decline. On this ground, it was very necessary to bring changes in the economy. Hence, the Government of India adopted a new economic policy in 1991. The process of new economic policy in which started in 1985 got a momentum in 1991. The new industrial policy introduced racial changes to unshackle India's industrial economy from the cobweb of unnecessary bureaucratic controls and rigidity in the government procedures. According to the new industrial policy, the state will no longer play the role of controller and regulator, but it will act as an facilitator, coordinator, inspirer, and supervisor. So, in the period of 1991, the Indian economy, not only Indian economy, all over the world, the economic crisis was arised. Different changes in the economic and political pattern of the economy was brought all around the world. 1991, in the coming part, we will explain about what changes it has made by the world economy as well as the Indian economy. There were war and different policies was changed all around the world. So, when the policies change, we know that the economic system also will change. So, according to the change in the world and different countries in the world, India also were forced to bring some changes. So, what were the objectives of India to bring the new economic policies? There are 8 objectives that you have to go through that. We know that the new economic policy, when it was brought, the India before the time of 1991, India was having the control of the industrial policy. But according to this policy, it changed the role of the economy or the state to only controller and regulator. Okay, now what are the objectives? First one, to plunge the Indian economy into the arena of globalization. Means they plunged the Indian economy into arena of globalization means the Indian economy was changed or showing a path to the world economy. In the coming slides, we will describe about what is the objectives in a elaborate manner. Second, to bring down the rate of inflation. Third, to correct the disequilibrium in the balance of payment. Fourth, to acquire a higher economic growth. Fifth, to build sufficient foreign exchange reserves. Sixth, to achieve economic stabilization and to reduce fiscal deficit. Seventh, to establish international trade relations for free flow of goods without any restrictions. 8, to increase the participation of private sector. So, these are the 8 objectives. Why the economic policy of 1991 was put forth? The main objective was this: So, features of economic policies 1991. Now, what are the features that we are going to discuss? The features of the new economic policy 1991. The first feature it is delicensing. What is delicensing? It means abolition of government license required to carry out any business or industrial activity. All industries except 18 specified industries of strategic importance required in license. As per the importance required, the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, Government of India, means only 4 industries they made to require compulsory licensing. During this policy, the first point, delicensing, means all the industries were given freedom. Only 4 industries were kept for the licensing. That which are that 4 industries? You can see in the textbook page number 57, the explanation is given. Electronic, aerospace, defense equipments, second industrial explosive, third hazardous chemical drugs and pharmaceuticals, fourth cigarettes. These industries required license and all other industries were delicensed, means they don't require license. Second, abolition of monopolies and restrictive trade practices, MRTP Act. According to this act, it made compulsory for the industrial houses to take approval of central government for establishment and expansion or merger of the companies. So this resulted in the slow industrial growth. So abolition of MRTP Act has encouraged the industrial growth. MRTP Act means what it is? It is given in the point itself, monopolies and restrictive trade practices. So this was removed. Why? Because when there is this restrictions in the trade was not growing, so it was removed. Third, encouragement of foreign investment. The government encouraged the small units to attain a higher growth rate output, employment and export sectors. Its invest limit was increased from 1 crores to 5 crores. Okay. Fourth, encouragement of foreign investment. Foreign investment means according to the Industrial Policy 1991 approved, the foreign direct investment to exchange the requiring industries have high investment and technology, they were given importance and permissions to attain the investment policies. Means 50%, 51% of total investment was given in the selected industries. Later the limit was increased to 74 and afterwards 100%. Means foreign direct investment was given 100% of freedom. The next it is reducing the role of public sector. Many changes were made in the public sector policies to encourage the industrial and trade policies. So what are the policies or what are the improvements made? They made the ending the state monopoly. The state were having monopoly in some of the industries. The government ended the monopolies in that sectors. Second, improving efficiency of public sector, releasing capital blocked into sick public enterprise. Means some of the industries were very sick. What we mean by sick industries? Sick means the industries which were not running. People were not working, production were not going on, but the payment was going, the cost was going. So these industries were stopped. So according to encourage the private sector, the NEP means New Economic Policy, reduced the number of industries in the public sector from 17 to 8 in 2014. There were only 2 industries reserved for public sector. 6. Trade liberation. Trade liberalization. 6 point it is trade liberalization. Import licensing control have been abolished. Almost all capital goods, raw material industries, intermediate goods, companies were made freely importable. Established exporters are allowed to raise external credit to the finance this trade. Special Economic Zone SCEZ are set up to promote the export. So, even the government put for the agro export zones. So, we have gone through the features means what first feature it was delicensing, second abolition of monopolies and restrictive trade practices act, third encouragement of small sectors, fourth encouragement of foreign investment, fifth reducing public sector, sixth trade liberalization. Okay, now we are going to study about the seventh point, that is reforms in insurance sector. What reforms were made in the insurance sector? Insurance sector was a monopoly of the government. The Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority Act IRDA in 1991 introduced reforms in this sector. The IRDA has given license to many private companies as insurance. So many of the insurance companies, private sector came into form. And eighth point, reforms in financial sector. Earlier, only cooperative banks and public banks were permitted to do banking business in the financial sector, but now it was removed. Okay, so these are the 8 features that gone through the what are the features of economic policy. Now we are going to study about the components. We can see in the slide 3 points, 3 components, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization. Now we are going to study in elaborate what is this liberalization, privatization and globalization. Accordingly, these are the components. We studied about the features. Now we are going to study about the components. Now, when we study about the components, what is liberalization? Liberalization refers to the economic freedom or freedom for economic decisions. It means producer, consumers and owners of the factories production are free to take decision to promote their self-interest. Adam Smith in his book Wealth of Nations suggested that economic liberation is the best economic policy to promote economic growth, reduction if removed of barriers in the working of market mechanism and free competition is called economic liberalization. Meaning, see the measures taken by liberalization, we can see in the slide 7 measures. The 7 measures, first one, flexibility of interest rate, freedom for expansion of industries, abolition of monopolies and restrictive trade practices, reforms in FERA, FERA, investment in infrastructure, encouragement to foreign technology, SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. Now, what is this? What they have done? The first one, the measures for that, the first, flexibility of interest rate. Under this policy of liberalization, commercial banks have the freedom to determine the rate of interest rate. So, the freedom was given to the commercial banks. According to the change of the economy, the interest rate was changed. Second, freedom for expansion of industries. In this new liberalized era, the industries are free to diversify their production capacity. So, what second point we are explaining? Freedom for expansion of industries. So, industries were expanded in such a manner that freedom was given and the capacity, what production, what to produce, how to produce, everything, decision was given to the industries. Third, abolition of monopolies and restrictive trade practices. We studied in the features that the MRTP, it was abolished. In 1969, it was came and what was the measures in that? According to MRTP Act of 1969, all those companies having assets worth rupees 100 crores and more were classified as MRTP firms and were subject to several restrictions. Now, this restriction was not there, they are free. So, that act was removed according to the new economic policy. Next, reforms of FERA. FERA means what it is? Foreign Exchange Regulating Act. So what it replaced and said, not regulating, we are managing. So FERA was transformed into FEMA, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act. Fifth, investment in infrastructure, roads, means power generation, everything was reformed. Investment was made in that sector also. Sixth, encouragement of foreign technology. Liberalization allowed the use of foreign technology in high priority industries. And seventh, SEBI, Security and Exchange Board of India. SEBI was established in 12th April 1992. The step was introduced to protect the interest of the investors in the security, promotes, developed and regulate the security markets. Next is privatization. Privatization means transfer of ownership from public to private sector. It means the introduction of private management to control without the change of ownership of the public enterprise. In the simple word, privatization refers to the process that reduces the involvement of public sector and increase that of the private sector in the economic activities. So what are the measures taken by the private sector? We can see that in the slides, disinvestment. Disinvestment means the act of selling shares of sick public industries to the private sector. So Maruti, ITDC hotels, IPCL, BSNL, everything which was under the public sector was given to the permission to the private sector to run off, and they were looking on. So the investment made in this sector was removed by the government. De-reservation, industrial policy of 1956 reserved 17 industries for public sector. Now this reservation was taken and NEP reduced this 8 gradually to 3, then to 2. So by course of time this control of the government was becoming less. Establishment of BIFR. BIFR means Board of Industries and Financial Reconstruction. This was established. Fourth, creation of National Renewable Board, that is NRB. Why NRB was established? Make the public sector units closed and the workers have to face the problem of unemployment when this laws making public sector. So accordingly the private sector was given permission to run on. Navaratna status. During 1997-98, 9 public sectors were selected and given the status of Navaratna on the basis of their performance. Which are these 9 industries? First one, Indian Oil, IOC, ONGC, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, HPCL, Hindustan Petroleum Corporation, BPCL, Bharat Petroleum Corporation, IPCL, Indian Petroleum Chemical Corporation Limited, BSNL, Videsh Sanchar Nigam Limited, BHEL, Bharat Electrical, Heavy Electrical Limited, SAIL, Steel Authority of India Limited, NTPC, National Thermal Power Corporation. At present, the public sector units has been further categorized into the it was categorized into mini Ratnas and Maharatnas. So industries were given importance according to the working and according to the need of the public. Next, components, it is globalization. Globalization has been ultimately aim of new economic policy. To more specific, liberalization and privatization finally lead to globalization. What is globalization? Globalization means integrating the economy of a country with the world economy. Means integrating the economy of a country to the world economy. So no barrier that you can go on trade it. The measures, it is first one, removal of quantitative restrictions. All the quantitative restrictions have been removed on the imports and export. Further, tariff rates have been brought down considerably. Second, Encouragement of foreign capital. Government has opened the economy to foreign investment. As a result, foreign capital is attracted toward the various sectors. Third, convertibility of rupee. Exchange rate of rupee has been made flexible. Rupee is made fully convertible. Foreign collaboration. Indian companies are allowed to enter into the important foreign collaboration. Example, that is Maruti, Suzuki, Hero Honda, Tata Chorus deal of iron and steel in South Africa. So total freedom. Collaboration was given, means if the industries we can contact with the other industries in the world or different countries, and we can start in our country, or we can go there and start the industries. In this way the management was made during the globalization period. Long-term policies to ensure longer duration in foreign trade. Changes were made in the foreign trade policies. What changes were made? First, liberalized policy, removal of restrictions on foreign trade, encouragement of foreign collaboration. Sixth, that is encouragement of export through EXIM means what it is? Export and import policies. Various incentives are given to the exporters. So this also were what? So these are the three components we studied. Now we are going to study about the evaluation. Means we know that when we study something, we have to evaluate. Is it good or bad, or there some differences made. In the evaluations, we can see the 6 one we have taken into consideration. First one, revolution in IT sector. So globalization created revolution in IT sector. Gross domestic products also increased. India has demand of Indian engineers were demanded in many other countries. Second, improvement of financial facilities due to the entry of private and foreign banks. Financial sectors has become highly professional and competitive. Third, improvement of educational standards. Standard of education increased. Increase of export. Diversification of cropping patterns. Means Indian farmers began to crop the cash crops, and many improvements were made. Horticulture, floriculture, medicinal plants, it gained a great importance in the foreign market, global market. Solved the problem of scarcity. Due to liberal movements or liberal imports, we can overcome the scarcity of goods and raw materials which was not in our country. Major failures. The last slide we are going to explain the failures. There are somewhat 6 failures given. Lack of self-sufficiency, adverse effects on domestic market, effects of poor farmers, unhealthy competition, neglects, welfare aspects, unemployment. These are the 6 points failure that made due to the new economy policy of 1991. Lack of self-sufficiency. A country under globalization cannot achieve self-sufficiency in food production because it is forced to produce only those foods. So there was a problem. Then domestic market also, because due to globalization we were permitted to import things from the foreign countries, which was so the domestic market faced a problem. Means imported goods were flooded in the market. So the people who were producing in the domestic market lost their sale or their income. Poor farmers were affected because poor farmers left unnoticed. They cannot face the competition. They were not have the advanced technology. Unhealthy competition. Indian entrepreneurs cannot face competition with the multinational companies because we permitted the multinational companies to come to our country and produce, and Indian industries were not having that much capacity, so that they disappeared. The neglect of welfare aspects, unemployment. So these were the 6 points which made the economic policies failures. So students, in this lesson we studied about what is new economic policy and what are the components of new economic policies and the evaluation and failures. Just go to the lesson. Okay students.